Hi, I'm Andrew Kim, Medical Director at Wisconsin Independent Physician Association. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season with your loved ones. Everyone at the IPA is very proud to be completely independent so that we could do what we do best, and that is to care for our patients one person at a time. In order for us and the IPA to be in existence, we have to follow the guidelines set by the FTC. For us, that means clinical integration. Last year, we had engaged C3 partners to try to compile the quality measure data and to be able to present it and share it with one another, as well as potentially to others. We know the great work you put forth in providing best care possible to our patients. As I understand, first time around, it's more of the process and not any lack of quality work. In a few minutes, Mr. Jay Fisher with C3 Partners will share with us how to analyze that data so that we can look at it critically and to try to continue to improve. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jay Fisher with C3 Partners. As you probably know, we've been engaged by the Wisconsin IPA to help roll out a quality reporting program. In about the end of the third quarter, early fourth quarter, all the members of the IPA who were covered under the program have submitted data, which we've analyzed and assembled into a series of dashboards. If you've not seen yours yet, it should be emailed out to you shortly. And then the purpose of this video is to help explain or understand what are the contents of that dashboard and how you should interpret it. So let's get started. We've created a dashboard here that's based on a demo. It's not one of the actual clinics, but similar to what most of you would see. As you can see in this upper section, there are 3 quality measures. Each clinic will have their own quality measures based on their specialty profile, but everyone has 3. Your 3 may be different from what's showing up on this particular dashboard. But essentially what you're going to see is a section that describes your quality measures and then your clinic's performance on those measures. And your performance will be based on a denominator, which is the number of encounters that are pertinent to each individual measure. So this dummy data shows about 1,000 encounters for each of the 3 measures. And then the numerator identifies the number of encounters within that population that were compliant with the requirements of the measure, resulting in a performance rate. So in the case of this demo clinic, measure 128, preventive care and screening for BMI, the physicians were compliant with that measure 96% of the time, which is just slightly below the Wisconsin IPA overall compliance of around 99%. Not bad. And so you'll be able to see that on each of the measures that you've submitted. What was your clinic's performance and how do you compare on that specific measure to all the clinics in the IPA who reported that particular measure? Then next, what we've done is we've calculated an aggregate score for each clinic. And that aggregate score is based on the sum of the denominators, or the total encounters across all 3 measures, divided into the sum of the numerators for that set of measures for that client. So in the case of our demo client, their aggregate score is a 95.8, which compares to an aggregate score of across the IPA of 80.31%. Now, this IPA average score is the average of all clinics who reported this specific set of 3 measures. So it's not across all clinics. It's the clinics that are I guess you would say peers or have similar practice to yours. So that's how you compare. That's how your performance is displaying and how you compare to your colleagues in the IPA. This lower section of the dashboard puts you into a slightly broader context. Every year, CMS calculates a set of benchmarks on all the performance measures, quality measures that they support. Um, and the benchmarks for this year are based on submissions into CMS programs in the calendar year of 2022, which is the last year or in which a full year worth of content was available to calculate the performance benchmarks. And the way these benchmarks are interpreted is should be reasonably clear. So if we take a look at measure 128 for our demo clinic, who achieved a 96% performance rate, on measure 128, a 96% is in the 10th decile. So this particular clinic performed better than um, almost in the top 10% of all physicians in the country. Whereas if we take a look at measure 130, their achieved score of 92%, um, while it looks good as a raw score and is better than the IPA average on a national ranking on a national basis, that 92% only shows up in about the second decile. In other words, about 80% of the physicians in the country reported better than 92% on measure 130. So that's a sense of how to interpret the dashboard that you're about to receive or you should have shortly received, um, which will compare you against your WIPA colleagues and against against a national platform. Hi, it's Jay again. Now that you've watched the video on understanding the reporting dashboard for the Wisconsin IPA, please be sure and click the black link at the bottom of the page to register the fact that you've done so. The IPA is requiring that each member clinic um, view this content, and if you've got any thoughts or feedback for us, please include that in the registration form that results when you click the black link.